All right, cool. Okay, you guys, welcome to our weekly webinar for Body Electric. I'm excited you're here. We have these calls every Wednesday night at 9, and sometimes on special occasions we get special guest speakers. So I'm excited tonight to have Kim Adams on the call. Kim and I met at the leadership retreat back in October in San Diego. We randomly had lunch together. I think it was about a 6-minute lunch where we briefly got to know each other and share some insights. So I had the privilege of speaking on her team call a couple of weeks ago, and of course I wanted her to return the favor and share with us her insights and her strengths so that we can learn from her. So she lives in Hawaii, which I think is really cool. If you've been on here early, you've heard a little of our conversation. But I'm basically going to hand it over to her. She's a Success Club 10 All-Star legend for 24 months and counting. She averages Success Club 15 every month, and she is a 5-star diamond coach. So Kim, I'm going to let you take it away, girl, and we'll take questions at the end if that's okay with you.
Okay. Great. Well, it's good to be on the call tonight, you guys. Just looking at all your faces, it gets me excited because I love our team. I love the culture that Beachbody has, that we can cross-pollinate and just support each other, and I don't know any of you, but we're all on that same mission and that same journey. And it all started with us needing to work on ourselves and get our lives kind of in check and get healthy and get strong again. And maybe there's parts of us that are still on that journey, and we always will be. So I'm always so humbled and honored just to be around other Beachbody coaches, because I know how hard you guys work, and I know how passionate you are about what you do, or you wouldn't be here on this call. A lot of people think that, they have different perceptions of being a coach. And I think there's a lot of heart behind all of you guys, and there's a lot of story. And I just want to encourage you guys tonight and share a little bit about my journey and what I've learned as a coach. Some of it you might have already heard before, or it's going to be familiar to you, or maybe it'll be totally new. I'm not sure. But these are just some things that I've learned and have practiced and have been practicing for the last couple years. And I've been a coach for, it was 2 years in June or July. And so a little bit over 2 years. And this is kind of what I was doing and I wasn't realizing I was doing it, but this is what was happening in my business. And I realized this is actually really helping me hit Success Club every month. And I began to kind of put this in as a part of my training for my team. And so it's just some good information, and we'll do some questions at the end because I'm sure you guys will have a few questions. So I'm going to go ahead. First, I want to ask you guys, when you hear the term, today I'm going to talk about building affinity. So when you guys hear the word affinity, is there, what comes to mind when you hear that? Anybody?
Fun.
Fun? Is that right? I heard you right?
Fun, yes, fun.
Affinity, okay. Anybody else have? What's that?
Forever. Infinity.
Forever. Okay, so not infinity.
Oh.
Affinity with an A.
Oh.
Okay, how about that one? Credibility. Jenny Swisher said on her text. Anybody else? I still haven't heard it yet. I'm still kind of okay.
Your personal likes and your preferences.
Your personal likes and your preferences. Okay, what you have an affinity towards, what you like.
Right.
Okay, and that is a part of it. You're right. Okay. Love. Okay, so I feel like there's a lot of different ways we could also think about affinity too. So today I'll be just sharing affinity with an A. How affinity is about relationship and interconnectedness, and Facebook loves affinity. Facebook is all about affinity. It is literally the interweb that's going on behind that newsfeed wall that you look up when you open up your Facebook every morning. There's affinity happening right before you, and you can't see it, but it's happening. And so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and start my little PowerPoint that I have for you guys. So I'm going to screen share. Let's see how successful I can be at getting this first time going here. Can you guys see that okay? Jenny, I'll just get a thumbs up from you. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and press play. So I won't be able to see you, but just write down your questions. I'll try not to go too fast. So building affinity and expanding your sphere of influence. Lots of fancy words, but this is what we're going to be talking about tonight. So let's talk numbers just for a second, because something I hear a lot of is, aren't there already like way too many Beachbody coaches out there? And how am I supposed to be successful and stand out? I hear that almost every single time I sign up a coach. They say to me, well, but my friend is a coach down the street, and, or my cousin was a coach and it didn't work for her because there were too many Beachbody coaches. And you hear that. So first, I just want to tell you guys, guess what? And this is what you can tell people when you're talking about that. And it really does bring things into perspective really quickly. And usually the conversation just moves forward and we don't really talk about it much more. And that is that there is 1.4 billion active users on Facebook. There's 167 million Facebook users that are in the US and Canada. There's 400 million active users on Instagram, and 77 million of those users on Instagram are from the United States. And it's a pretty equal split. So as far as how many percentage of those are guys and girls, it's about 50-50. I couldn't get any information about demographics for Instagram, but 77 million. It's actually kind of an untapped market, Canada is, for Instagram. So people are just starting to catch on to that. So this really helps us see just how many people are actually on social media. And I believe there's around 400,000 coaches in the network. And I would probably say maybe half of those or less are even active coaches, because, a lot of people are discount coaches, right? So let's just say that you guys are the active coaches that are pursuing and building and dreaming and helping people. Really, do we ever have to worry about running out of people or there being too many Beachbody coaches? Probably not. So just keep those little helpful tips, little facts for you. Okay, so what does that mean? You'll never run out of people to help. Ever. Whoops, that went too fast, but ever. You got the point. Okay. So what is affinity? Okay, and I'll just give you guys a quick definition of it real quick, because we were trying to maybe think of some words, but it's a relationship or a resemblance in structure. That's like Wikipedia. But in Facebook terms, affinity refers to the strength of a Facebook relationship between users. The more a fan or a friend interacts with you or your page by liking or commenting or messaging your content, the higher the affinity will be between them and your page, and the higher the chance that your posts are going to appear on each other's newsfeed. Okay? So remember, take the curtain off of your newsfeed, and behind that, affinity is happening. Facebook is creating algorithms that says, oh, these people are connected, so I'm going to put this person's post on the newsfeed of this person because they sent a message yesterday, so they're friends. Okay? That's why you only see a small percentage of the people that you're actually friends with on Facebook. In fact, it's like no more than 12 to 15% of your friends ever show up on your Facebook. But what I'm going to show you today is how to bump that number up for you and for the people that you're trying to reach. Okay? So how do you build affinity? Facebook. Comment. Fire. I love fire. So comment on at least 5 to 10 photos a day. And you may say, well, I'm already commenting on a lot of people's photos a day. Right. But are you picking people that never show up on your newsfeed? I use my prior freemium group because I know those have a lot of people on there that I'm probably most recently friends with. And I don't know very well. And I know there's not a lot of affinity built between us because we haven't had a relationship and nothing's been established. So sometimes I'll go to my freemium group and I'll actually go through the members of that group, and I will go to every single one of those person's Facebook pages, and I will comment on one of their photos and like a photo. You can also just go to your friends list and you can click on recently friended. I don't know if you knew that was there, but if you click on your friends and then recently added, you see your 20 most recently added people. So pick people that don't show up in your newsfeed or people that you're recently friends with. And then I try to ask a question that sparks a conversation, at least in some way. And that, again, that is going to increase that affinity that's happening. Okay. The other thing is to send personal messages that are not Beachbody related. And again, message at least 5 to 10 people a day, 5 being the minimum, and 10 being a really great, like you are nailing it, day. We all have days where we're like, okay, the kids are sick and I got to get on top of things and I can't be sitting and doing Beachbody stuff today as much as I want to be. So find your minimum and your maximum, and maybe your maximum is 20. I talked to a coach at Leadership and she says, I send, 30 messages a day that are not Beachbody related, which I'm like, that's crazy. But I have 4 kids and I homeschool. So my Beachbody journey looks a little different than, somebody maybe who's at home and doesn't have any kids. And so for me, 5 to 10 is a good number to hit. Again, pick people who don't show up on your news feed. I go to their feed, okay, and I see what I can connect with. And I ask them a genuine question about their dog or their house or where they went to dinner, or, maybe they got a new pair of shoes and they posted about it. So I'm going to send them a message and I'm going to say, where did you get those shoes? They're super cute. And do you like them for running? Right. And so this has nothing to do with Beachbody. I don't also throw in there, oh, by the way, would you want to come to my challenge? And I save those types of messages when I've had a correspondence or a relationship building time period of at least 3 months, and everybody's different about their time period. But I take time and I really build that relationship and I build the trust, and we'll kind of get into that. But if you're doing these steps every day, and I gave Jenny the BAT that I use and I give my team because these steps are on there, those relationships will begin to be fostered and developed, and you won't be cold turkey sending messages anymore. You'll be more sending messages to people that you begin to build trust with and begin to influence. So I try to ask them questions that spark a conversation. It's not about Beachbody. And this really is the heart of relationship building. And I think that the more that I go back to that, I feel that the more authentic and genuine and successful my relationships are with those people who join my challenge and who want help and all that kind of stuff. So the other thing you can do is you can make a video post or something like that, like do 20 burpees or here's this little core workout you can do, maybe do squats, whatever it is, and then you tag 5 or 10 people. Again, pick people that might not show up in your news feed, people that you want to build relationship with, tag them and have them post their video and tag you back. So again, just kind of a fun way to create that affinity building in the background. You can also do this on your like page or on Instagram as well. It works the same for that. So I'm going to talk just a second about Instagram, and Instagram is its own call altogether, so I won't go into too much. But when someone likes your photo, be sure that you go and you like theirs. If you get a new follower, I always go and like 3 or 4 of their photos, and I comment on one of them. Always try to comment back and respond to comments, of course. And I love hosting free challenges where they have to tag me for the day. I did that with a running group. My freemium I guess was this month, still January, was Couch to 1 Mile. And it was on Instagram and it was on Facebook, and they got certain points for posting that they had done their little workout during the day. But then they got extra points if they posted their sweaty selfie of their post run, if they posted it on their Facebook or on their Instagram publicly and tagged me in it. And I actually had a brand new copy of P90X2 in the house. And so I made that the award or the prize at the end of the week. And this one girl, she posted on every single social media she could possibly post and did her food posts and her workout posts and her Facebook posts and her Instagram posts, and it was crazy. But she won, and she was so excited. I told her she was probably going to win. And but you know, she was tagging me and all that was happening, and so that was really fun. I liked doing that. Okay, how to build. Okay, more tips for Instagram. Okay, here's another way. So just get this. Zoop. Okay, so this is my little Instagram post I did. And you can see right there where the arrow is pointing, there's that little swishy curvy line. I don't know if you guys have used this before, or if you're even on Instagram, but this is such a great tool because that is your direct message arrow. And what it does is it grabs your followers and your commenters or your likes, and it allows you to choose one of the people to send the direct message to. So how would this work? What would be the benefit of doing this? Well, 92 people have liked this picture. Let's say I had a call to action on this picture where I was like, hey, if you're interested in joining, you know, this challenge, or if you're interested in talking to me about getting healthy or fit or whatever my call to action was, say these 92 likes were there. What I would do is I would click on the 92 likes, and I would find 5 to 10 people who liked that photo. And then I would click on the swishy thing, and I would pick their name on the bottom. And what direct message does is it actually sends the message with this post right above it, so that the person you're sending the message to knows what it is you're referencing. And what I like to say is, you know, thanks so much for liking my photo and all the support. Are you on a fitness journey as well? Again, love your cute new Nike Frees you got. How do you like them? So what I'm doing here, just so you guys know, because I do this in all my posts, and maybe you do it too, is I always sandwich everything I do or say or invite. I always sandwich it. I usually have like a gratitude sentence in the beginning. I have a question in the middle, and then at the end, I always reference something about themselves or their account or their picture, so that they always have an out. And that Nike Free comment on the bottom, that's their out. Like if they just want to talk to me about their Nike Frees, then great. They don't have to feel the pressure to answer a question about Shakeology. So try to sandwich your conversations as best you can, which means you might have to go over to their feed and look around and, you know, see what they're about and what they're doing. But again, that's the relationship building part. That's the part that connects you to them and builds the connection. So that's a little tip for Instagram and building relationships that way. Okay. So the why behind what we do. Why are we building Affinity? The ultimate goal is to be able to influence as many people as we can, and for that process to filter into our teams for generations. Building affinity with those that are following us is the foundation for that influence. So why do we build Affinity? Because of the stages of influence. And if you guys have read Becoming a Person of Influence, I don't know if you can see, it's a John C. Maxwell book. I know you guys are a big John C. Maxwell team. But the four stages of influence he talks about in that book is model, motivate, multiply, and mentor. And I think Affinity is great, and I think that we have to be doing it. And I'll tell you kind of why. Also, other than this, there's another why too. But this is really this is the why behind building Affinity. This is what you want to get to in that whole process of connecting all that, all those little pieces behind the curtain. So stages of influence, modeling. Modeling is just the base level of influence. Okay, you guys, that is like what people see, and they may or may not know anything about you. Just hearing about maybe one of the top coaches, you already have an influence from them, or hearing about John C. Maxwell, you've never met him before, but because of the things he does and the things he says, he's already influenced you. So this doesn't really require any personal relationship, and often it's just based on people's, perception of who you are and what they've seen from what you've done. And it's usually done at a distance. This again isn't anytime you you probably haven't met this person yet, but they've seen you and they look at you and they know you and they're watching. And so these are your posts, your videos, maybe just looking through your page. And so just be thinking about that when you're making your posts and you're making your videos and you're creating your call to actions. Just that base level of influence is that you're already modeling and you're already affecting people just by what you're doing. And here's level 2 though, and this is where affinity comes into play, and that's motivating. So when you begin to build affinity with people and you start commenting and messaging and liking and interacting like that, you've already gone into level 2 of motivating, okay? And this is a bit more close up. This is when you encourage and you communicate on an emotional level. This level of influence, it begins to build that bridge between the two of you that builds their confidence, their self-worth. Usually when they've interacted with you, it's usually a positive experience. Maybe it's a negative one, but the goal is for it to be positive. But there's only 4 stages, and just by building affinity with people, you're already getting to level 2 of influencing them. And I think that's really powerful, because by the time you get to that level 3, that's when you, so let me just hear, comments and messages, okay? I think there might be 2 arrows. Yeah, there we go. So comments and messages are putting you into that more level 2 influence. Okay. And then level 3 is mentoring. And this is where you begin to pour your life into that person. You begin to help them reach their potential and their goals. This is when, you can actually see that you're making a difference in their life. This is when, you talk to that challenger after the first week and they're going, I already lost a couple pounds and my energy is back and I feel great. Like, you've hit level 3 of influencing them right there. I mean, that's amazing. So these are the people that have trusted you with their journey, and they've trusted you with who they are. It's pretty great. So this often will lead to some of your most loyal coaches. Arrow, little late there. Okay, level 4 is multiplying, and this is the last level. And this is when you are now helping others become influencers, and they're actually passing the torch on, and they're now, for us in Beachbody world, they're a coach now, and they're creating affinity with their followers, and they're beginning to step into that mentor relationship and all of that. So motivational relationship, and then into mentor. So when you begin to multiply yourself and you begin to pass the torch on to other people, that's really the ultimate goal here, is that we can pass this on and keep going and help other people affect other people's lives. So I liked what he says in the book. He says, this takes unselfishness, it takes generosity, commitment, and the most valuable thing for us of all, it takes time. So this is where you will give most of your time. This is where you're going to spend those deeper conversations, the Zoom calls, the one-on-ones, things like that, okay? So building affinity has brought you to this place in the level of your influence. If I were to backtrack, and I could, I just signed up a coach last Monday, I think, and she was in my Sanity Simplified, which was like an organizational freemium group I did. She was in my Sanity Simplified group, and she had joined that probably back in September. And, we just were relationship building that whole time. And that affinity that we have built from then until now is now she's a coach, and she had joined my challenge at that point, right after that. She had great results in November and December, and now she signed up as a coach. And those are the people that I really, really love seeing them just grow and begin to just take what they've experienced and then be able to pass it forward. So the little green arrow, there it is. Okay. So what are the results of building affinity? Because there is a really cool thing that ends up happening here. And when you build affinity, your sphere of influence is shifted, and more people will see you modeling and motivating on their news feed. So they are left with that good feeling, like, I interacted with Kim today and I have a good feeling, or Kim inspired me because she didn't want to work out, but she did. Or, you know, Kim made me feel like a normal person because her house is a mess too, but, you know, she got to go to the park with her kids. So whatever, you know, modeling or motivating kind of influence you're having with your followers during the day, you're impacting their lives. And really what that is the seeds of influence are building trust. And what happens is people begin to come to you. And so when you are focusing on being influential to the people around you, they grow and they also are attracted to you. So what ends up happening is that when you're building that affinity, you're changing that 12 to 15%, and you're bumping that up. Your stuff ends up showing up on their newsfeed. Okay, so your workout post that you did where you're like, hey, I just finished chisel and I'm feeling amazing, you know, message me if you're ready to get started. That's showing up on their newsfeed now. So what I ended up finding happen is that by building the affinity and working on those relationships and spending the time each day doing the 5 to 10 comments and messages, is that more of my stuff was showing up on more people's newsfeed and more of their stuff was showing up on my feed, which then fed more affinity, which then built more trust, which then put more of my stuff on their newsfeed, which means more people are messaging me when they want to join the challenge, whereas I'm not messaging them. And I mean, when I got started, I sent a lot of messages when I was first coaching, and then, you know, began to see how this was affecting my newsfeed and noticing more people's stuff was showing up on mine and theirs and all that. And there is some months where I do not have to send any messages at all, just because, and I'll hit Success Club 15 or 20, just because of the affinity that's being built during the month where people are feeling led to respond to that call to action because my stuff is showing up on their newsfeed. I hope that makes sense. So this often is what leads to some of your most loyal coaches. I feel like that was on the other slide. That's okay. So questions. I don't know where that pink line from, but I'll stop sharing. There we go. Okay. I hope that wasn't too fast, but yeah, open for questions if you guys have them.
That was awesome, Kim. Thank you so much. I feel like you just put into words like what I've been trying to figure out for the last couple of years for myself. I feel like, you know, the phrase attraction marketing was that I kept coming back to. Like, I feel like when I've communicated with my coaches about staying consistent and engaging on other people's pages and that kind of thing, like, has brought people to me over the years. Like, you just basically made that scientifically, you know, I guess proven. Like, you basically just told us exactly what we need to be doing to appear in more people's news feeds, to have people reach out to us. Like, I feel like that literally just puts an answer to what I've experienced that I've never really known how to share. So that was perfect. Okay, you guys, if you guys have any questions, we'll go ahead and take like maybe 5 or 6 minutes of questions. So just, you can unmute yourself since we're on Zoom. Feel free to unmute, or you can send it in the chat if you'd prefer to go that way. But let's ask her some questions.
I see one. Katie had asked a question. Does this work when you're using your Facebook business page?
Well, you answered that.
Well, okay, but I had one more thing too, and I didn't put this on the slide. And what I meant to do is that it's really great to go to your post on your Facebook like page. The easiest way that I know how to do this is once you have the picture pulled up and it's kind of surrounded by the black stuff, I can only do this on my computer. Then I press the refresh button and it sends the picture into old school mode. And then I can tag myself in that photo on my like page. I know some people don't have to press the refresh button, but I still have to. And so I try to tag myself or my husband in my Facebook like pages, or sometimes I'll share. But again, you're throwing yourself back out there again. So that's one thing you could do.
Yeah, I stopped doing that after listening to a Christine Dwyer thing about divorcing your personal page. So I don't post on my personal page anymore, but for the affinity, I log in as my other page to comment and stuff. But anyway, I wanted to ask, and Jenny, you can say, no, this isn't what this call is about. But when you just kept talking a lot about your freemium groups, and you had some different ideas that I've never heard of. And I feel like I have feel stuck in the whole group, like free group thing.
Sure.
And like I've done sugar groups and meal plan groups, but I don't know if you have any ideas on how to create a group like that. And I don't know.
Sure. Okay. So for my freemiums, I advertise them on my Facebook like page. I advertise them on my Instagram. And what I do is I always ask for an email, and they can direct message me their email. They can send me a Facebook message, but whatever. I kind of put that all in there. And they send me they put their email in there, and then I send a big group message with the link to the Facebook group. And that way I'm getting an email address, and I think that that's valuable. I have a list that I keep in my Google, whatever it is, Drive, and I have all the emails every time. And so then that kind of filters out some of the people that are completely really not going to engage, because if they don't want to click that link, then they really don't really want to be in the group probably. So they click that link, they add themselves to the group, I add them. And then after like the first or second day, I send all those people friend requests. And I usually get around, my last group, my Couch to 1 Mile group, there was like 47 people in that group. And what I do is I create a little picture and I boost it on my like page for probably $15 or $20. And I create a target audience, and I specifically exclude like Herbalife, It Works, Beachbody coaches. I exclude all those people, and I just really have my target audience set, like my avatar is like zoned in, and then those are the people that usually end up putting their email address in, and I'll get 20 or so email addresses from that, and
No idea that you could exclude people. That's
I think it might be kind of new, but yeah.
I want to chime in because basically I want to clarify for everybody what we're talking about. A lot of you guys are in that Diamonds in the Rough group, and we have been talking about running like sponsored ads for freemium. What we've done, Kim, is we have like a team cookbook that we have put together that's like a 48-page cookbook of compiled recipes. So we actually use a piece of content as our freemium, as a giveaway. And we promote that, so that people can sign up to be on our individual newsletter lists, and then they get a copy of the same cookbook. But yours,
so same kind of idea.
You're saying the same exact thing. The only difference is that instead of a piece of content, yours is a free group. Yeah, and that's how you're collecting your information.
Yeah, it's just a Facebook group. I have a post every day that I do for 5 days. And so in the group, once in the group, the file section is open, and it has recipes for 10 breakfast, lunch, and dinners. It has a meal planner. It has it has nutrition guidelines for clean eating. And then each day I do a post about running, so that at the end of the week they're running a mile. So it's just a quick group, and you can do anything. I mean, you could do clean eating. I did a Sanity Simplified group a couple months ago, but in our team we have the 3 vital events every month. We do a sneak peek, we do a freemium, and then we do our challenge group. So we just try to fit a freemium in there once a month, because, adding contacts is a really big part of staying alive after that first year, so that your warm market never runs out. You always have people.
Yeah, and to touch on the actual specifics real quick, and I don't want to make it a Facebook conversation, but yes, you can target who you're wanting to. I mean, I've mentioned before that you can target specific, people who like specific pages on Facebook. Last night, Chris and I ran an ad. I think it was I had an organic reach of over 3,000 on a post that I made Saturday about 21-day fix containers and a certain meal that I had for breakfast. And so we decided to go back and sponsor that post. And so I actually targeted Weight Watchers, because my post literally said, this is not Weight Watchers. This is going to teach you to change your lifestyle effectively. I wanted to target specific things. I targeted like Shape Magazine, Fitness Magazine. So you can target interests. You can even target behaviors. Most of what I've read has said not to target behaviors, but you can target age. So you can literally specify who you want to see your stuff, which is pretty cool. So.
And you can do Canada and United States. So you can keep it within Canada and United States so that you're always targeting people that are people you can actually work with.
Yeah.
Okay. When you get a chance, besides Couch 1 Mile, what else have you done for free groups? We've done a financial group, like how to save. We've done an organizational group. I've done a clean eating group. We've done like a how to survive holiday break or school break group in the couch group. I think that's it. I did a clean eating group for months and months and months. Probably my first year and a half, I was just doing mostly just clean eating groups. But I had to find something I really loved and I was passionate about. It had to be something more because I was starting to get like run down with just the normal free cleaning group. And so, think about what it is. Maybe it's a walk after dinner group. I had a friend who did a walk after dinner group. And so every day after dinner, everybody had to walk 20 minutes. I did do a squat, burpee and plank. And so they had to, every day I increased it by a certain number of minutes for 5 days. And they had to do this many 30 seconds of squats, 30 seconds of burpees, and 30 seconds of planks. And what I did was I made like a little video that explained how to do the 3 moves. And I talked to them about what they were supposed to do. And then every day it was like your first day was 1 minute or 2 minutes. Your second day was 5. Your third day was 7. And your fourth day was 15 maybe, or something. Maybe at the end of the week it was by 20 minutes. So I've just done a squat challenge. So every day you have to do so many squats. And I even say you can break it up at the end of the day because by the end of the week you're doing 300 squats. And those are fun to do on Instagram because people love to post that stuff on Instagram and then they tag you and then all their friends follow you. So it's kind of like a little trickle effect. It's fun. And when I say they do it on Instagram, meaning they're in a group and they're posting their sweaty selfie for the day on their Instagram account for like points, or I've done like a $10 gift card to Amazon, or stuff like that.
Been able to move people from you're meeting people on Instagram, but then you're getting their email and then you're sending their link to your Facebook group.
Yep. So I asked them. I say, can I have your email? Put your email below or send it to me in a DM. And they put it below, and then I usually take a screenshot of it and then I delete it because I don't want their emails on there. And then I, put all my emails together at the end of the day, and I send a group message saying, hey, if you got this email, you've wanted to join my da-da-da-da group. So it's going to be fun. Here's the link. Excited to get to know you more. See you in the group. Yep.
That's awesome. I love those ideas. Okay, we'll take one more question. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to post or ask. One more.
Okay, if no one else is going to ask another question, I will ask another question.
She's like on the edge of her seat.
Oh, Katie, go.
Sorry. So for your email collecting when you're on Instagram, are you using a form, like a Google form or a Wufoo form or something to collect that email address?
I used Wufoo for like a year, and then I was using GetResponse, and something happened in my brain like 6 months ago, and I was like, I just have to simplify everything. I'm going crazy. So I just tell people to comment below with their email or send it to me in a direct message. Yeah, that's all I do. I used to have forms for everything, and I was like, this is crazy. And I was paying a lot of money too. I was like, I don't need forms. Like, they're great and they can be really helpful. I don't want to poo-poo forms.
Okay.
But I might go back to forms. I don't know. You kind of go around, But
okay, my last question, can I come surfing please sometime?
yes, you just have to get the plane ticket and come over, and you can come. We have like 5 surfboards, so.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Kim. I know you guys probably all have found incredible value with this. So I just want to thank you especially for your time. And I know that you put time and thought and effort into creating the content for us. So I want to end with one thing, and that is, I forgot to mention this at the beginning. Kim has taken our advice, and her team has been working with Amy Snow. They've been doing masterminds with Amy Snow since she and I met back in October. And I was just hoping maybe you could offer, because we have a new one starting for our team. We've got like 12 people signed up to start is it this weekend? This weekend. But I'd really like to just, I'd like an outside perspective, somebody to just offer your insight as to how that's worked for your team, just so my team can hear from someone else.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. We love Amy. She's been so great. In fact, 2 of my coaches this week who were in the last mastermind, the first one we did, they messaged me and they're like, I used my free Amy time. As Amy offers a 45-minute one-on-one coaching session for each mastermind you get. And, they were just blown away. They were in love and so excited. So, but I think, so I pulled my leaders together for the first one we did, and it gave us that fresh perspective of why we're doing what we're doing, and really what matters. And, that people matter, that relationships matter, that growing and working on ourselves is really going to be kind of filling in those gaps of like, why do I feel stuck? And I have quite a few coaches on my team that have been diamond or 1-star for like a year or more, and they feel really stuck. And even I personally, I had really big goals for 2015 to be a 10-star coach, and I ended the year as a 5-star again. And I was kind of a little bit, I had 2 diamonds quit and I had a few new diamonds pop up, but it all evened out to still be 5-star. I mean, it just was like, what do you do? But you have to keep going, and you have to keep working on you. And so when Jenny told me about Amy and the team and everything and what she's been growing and doing, I just thought, okay, this is what we need to do. So we did one, and actually had a girl hit diamond after she was done with it. And not that it's all about hitting diamond, but she was a Ruby coach for 18 months, you guys. And there was just something was holding her back, and she didn't know what it was. And she is a solid diamond right now, and she's going to be a 1-star coach soon. In fact, she's already had a diamond in her downline, but she just was stuck, and we all were. And I think if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling unsure about how to grow as a leader, because that's my biggest thing right now, is I'm like, how do I become the leader to lead my team so that they can be the leaders for their team? This has kind of taken that question mark off the table and given me like hope and excitement. Like, okay, I'm excited. So
That's awesome.
I don't know if that's what you.
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing. I realized as you were talking that, you're somebody that kind of like took me up on my advice with Amy, and I wanted to just have you share that with the team, because they hear about her and they hear about personal development from me, and I wanted to just have somebody totally from the outside offer their perspective too, which
everything that Jenny says is true.
Well, I won't deny that because I don't lie, but okay. So, well, I appreciate
I know.
Much. Yeah. We need to have you on here more often. I feel like a podcaster right now, but I definitely want to make this more of an.
Well, that's it. That's all I have. That's it. It stops there, Jenny.
No. You got to come up with more than one interesting topic. You got to be National Wake Up Call ready. You got to keep practicing. So, cool. Okay. So, if you guys don't mind, send Kim a thank you message. And I know that you guys are also grateful for her to be on here tonight, and I know I am. So with that, this recording will be posted tomorrow in the team page as usual. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thanks again to Kim for her time. I'll see you guys next week on the call. Thanks, guys.
Good to meet you guys. Okay, bye.
Bye.